sure. That's a tough task. John, when I first came to DC United, John was an idol of mine, and he's very humble, but he took me under his wing, and I'm certainly here in part because of John and all the guidance he gave me as a young man. Thank you, DC Scores. It's an unbelievable honor. I'm extremely honored to accept this award. I'm not sure I've earned it, but nonetheless, I'm very, very honored. I remember my first experience with DC Scores. I was a young pro, and they asked me to judge a competition called a poetry slam. I had no idea what a poetry slam was. And I didn't know how to judge either. But I went and enjoyed it very much, and what a poetry slam was. And I went into that night. It was one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had as a professional athlete in the appearance. We do them all the time. We go here and there. This was one of the most memorable appearances I've ever had. I realized quickly that DC School was not your average after-school program, very quickly. I saw this positive, energetic, thoughtful event that was supported by passionate staff members, talented kids, and very, very passionate parents, I soon found out when I started judging. But honestly, I found out two things that night. One, I was not a good judge of poetry. Again, the parents made sure I knew that with some of my low scores on some of the children, probably their children. But more importantly, I found an organization in DC that spoke to me through my passions, through art and the great sport of soccer. I'm a hack at art. I paint in my spare time. Well, when I was a player and I had spare time. Now, as a coach, I don't have as much spare time. But those are my two passions. And for DC Scores to be doing what they are and talk about two things that don't make sense but make sense. And they've always made sense to me. The art and sport and how they coincide. And, it was beautiful to find DC Scores thinking the same way I was. So it was a wonderful connection. Since that night, it was probably about 10 years ago, I'm not sure how long, but about 10 years ago, we've crossed paths many times, and I've always been impressed with the work that is being done by DC Scores in this community. The positive influences you're having on the youth is evident by these beautiful young talented children who are doing great things. And so, again, I want to talk more about you guys tonight and wish you guys all the success and continued involvement in this community and continuing to do exactly what you do, and that's benefit kids all over. Thank you again for the great honor. It does mean a lot to me. Go buy some art.